viewers, welcome back. I'm here with another case of the week this week, and today we're going to talk about some threats that police officers face that you don't normally think about. We all know that police officers face a lot of dangers in the line of duty. Sometimes they get shot at, sometimes they get stabbed at, sometimes they might get kicked by a defendant. But today we're going to talk to Assistant Commonwealth Attorney Dan Laren about a case that he's had which exposed an officer to a biological threat. I guess you're going to talk to us today about a case you had that involved some injury to a patrol officer. Is that correct?
I am indeed.
Great.
This is a case that started out as a pretty routine sort of thing. Last April, several of our patrol officers were called to a halfway house in the downtown area in Lexington. This is the kind of place where people go to get clean from alcohol, drugs, to do rehab, to learn job skills, things of that nature. And the police responded to this facility. They met this particular defendant, who's a man named Benjamin Stone, who was drunk and belligerent. They calmed him down. Everything was okay. About a half hour later, the police were called back to the same place. They ran into Stone, who got into an argument. He was clearly under the influence of alcohol, so they arrested him for public intoxication, sat him down to wait for the wagon to come take him to jail. While they're waiting at the facility, Stone is sitting on the ground. He's in handcuffs. He becomes belligerent. He starts to kick at the officers, and then the officer that arrested him and put him in the wagon, Stone spit at him in the face, and landed the spit on the officer's face. When the officers got Stone to the jail, they found out that he had been flagged for medical conditions. Mr. Stone's been to our detention center many, many times, and some of the public safety things they do there are to flag people for significant medical conditions. Stone had them. They interviewed him. He told the officers he was aware that he had these medical issues, but he didn't care. He exposed the officer to this danger by spitting in the officer's face. So Stone was charged with assault in the third degree, which is to attack, injure, or attempt to injure a police officer. His criminal record has something like 40 prior convictions for public intoxication, a number of misdemeanors, things like trespass, DUI, violation of protective order. He has an older felony for flagrant non-support in his past as well. Stone's attorney worked on us pretty hard to try to get him to plead into a misdemeanor or something like that. I didn't think that was appropriate. Mm-hmm. The officer involved here is a patrol officer, is pretty much a friend of mine as well. Nice guy, was just doing his job, and he's had to go to the medical center here in the Fayette County Health Department for ongoing testing to see if these medical conditions were transferred. Fortunately, they were not. So Stone pled guilty to assault in the third degree. He was sentenced to serve 3 years in the penitentiary, and that's where he is at this point. So for a bad set of circumstances, this case turned out all right for the Commonwealth, and more importantly for the patrol officer involved.
And as far as we know, the patrol officer's still okay, right?
He is. I talked to him last week on a different case. He's doing fine.
Well, good. Glad to hear that. We'll be back next week with another case of the week.